Greetings, everyone. Ozzy Arcane, the man behind the anime girl here. And starting with that, I'm just going to say I probably will rebrand the channel to being my old alias, while Ozina will remain the mascot of the channel, as she's been the face of my internet presence for a while in between the creation of this channel and the old one I used to run. But I'm mainly putting this out there to discuss the direction I'm planning on taking this channel in, and why the last couple years have been, well, sparse with posts. So we're talking about the future of the channel, so to speak. The few of you who are already subscribers of mine probably know this channel originally launched as a podcast channel in 2020 for me and my friends to watch bad movies and give our thoughts on them. That kind of fell flat on its face because it had declining views with each episode. As I probably should have already known, it's incredibly hard to get people to watch or listen to something that is an hour or longer unless you are an already established content creator online, which none of us were. TZ backed out of content creation. Mad Matt has more followers than I do, but can actually get less views than me on times. And Ojunix is just our pal who isn't actually a content creator. Back when I started this channel, I was considering being a gaming streamer as well over on Twitch as a VTuber using Azina as my character, with the gag being that I was isekai'd into the internet and the entity responsible forgot to change my voice. I'm sure some found that amusing, but overall, constantly making jokes about wanting to be an actual anime girl, I imagine, gets kind of cringe over time and probably would be off-putting to most new people discovering my channel. So that never came to fruition, and after dipping out of the podcast concept for a while, I just, on a whim, decided to upload some of my videos from my old channel that I still had backed up on BitChute. This wasn't all of my videos, as a lot of stuff is just gone for good, but oddly enough, some of these random re-uploads got way more views than the podcasts, even though some of them were things I had made like 6 to 8 years ago at the time. This is when I realized that realistically any channel I run should have the main focus be video games. So I started to wind up the idea of doing more game reviews. I put out a Street Fighter 6 review near the end of 2023. Then complete chaos happened in my life during 2024, which is why there were no videos released that year. I was in an assistant supervisor position at my job, and literally the second day of 2024, the guy I was an assistant for collapsed and went into a health crisis that he never returned from. So I went from an assistant into a main position. This role requires there to be someone there daily, either the person who is in charge or the assistant. And without an assistant, this place having zero backup plans and an inability to get anyone in the company to take a promotion led to me working 7 days a week for 6 months out of the year. Not in a row. There was some stuff that solved it for a little bit, but half that year total, I was working 7 days a week, leaving me devoid of any energy I would need to work on videos or do anything than just relax in my spare time. 2025 was off to a slightly better start, though for bad reasons. One of our stores was closed due to a landlord pushing the company out of the location, which resulted in employees getting shuffled around, which led to me finally getting help, although them being higher seniority than me actually pushed me down back to assistant. Still burnout from the prior year. I didn't get much done in 2025 outside of messing with voice mod to try and sound like an actual anime girl. But later in the year, we had another store closure, which resulted in me being demoted to just being a regular employee again. This made for a lot less stress. However, due to a variety of things I won't go into detail about here, maybe I'll do a separate video on that, stuff involving my prescription medication kind of put me in a mental spiral that gave me a midlife crisis. I'm out of that. So anyone listening, don't worry about the possibility of me doing something stupid. However, that happening caused me to look at things differently even once my brain went back to normal. This mess from the past 2 years had me suddenly understanding that line from Agent Smith in Matrix Reload where he's talking about the concept of purpose, which oddly enough made me feel motivated to try and make videos again. I'm not going to review every single game I play, at least I'm not planning to unless people are fine with the idea of me just talking over unedited raw gameplay instead of the usual editing process of trying to have something relevant to what I'm currently talking about on screen at the time. But with how much negativity there is online about a lot of stuff, I kind of plan to do some videos about games that are special to me to do something slightly more positive. I already had this planned a while back, but never announced it here. It would be called Gems of Gaming. Straight up bad games, I don't really plan to play and do videos on unless it's something I think I can make an amusing video on. I also have ideas for a few game series I want to complete that I might try to make a video series out of, but I'm unsure about that at the moment. It boils down to how much spare time I actually end up having to do stuff. Things I can guarantee I will do are various videos discussing ongoing gaming topics, either solo or some mini podcast discussions with my friends. I also plan on recording co-op let's plays of some co-op games we're going to be playing, just because I kind of think I gel better in that kind of environment when I have someone to bounce off of. I would try streaming, but I always find it's a bit too distracting for me unless it's a game I've already played before. One thing that's really up in the air is if I'm going to just talk over gameplay footage like I am here, or if I should start doing more vlog style stuff, because I know people that do the vlog stuff are able to get videos out on a more consistent basis, probably because there's less editing of any kind involved. Lastly, I'm probably going to give my thoughts on a few live service games I played during all this chaos I went through, including the one I'm talking over right now. Because while I find it hard to stick to a live service game, at least now, I think as a former MMO addict, I might have more to add to it than some other people do. Also going to put up a few videos discussing my own personal history to give her a better idea of where some of my perspectives come from. Lastly, I wasn't completely inactive all this time. I have put up some written blogs on my blog, which is yeretrotavern.blogspot.com. I will continue to do some of that with games I can't justify doing a full video review on. And also, we have actually been continuing the movie podcast. They've just been on my friend Mad Matt's channel. If you want to check out those, you can look at the playlists on this channel. You'll find one that's called Oz and Crew. You'll see all of the podcasts in there, as well as you'll be able to find his channel that way. And that's all I have to say. So until next time, everybody, happy gaming.